What's up, guys? This is SpenceXC, and this is my Light Armor Magic Dragonknight build for the Clockwork City update. This is my first build video, so just excuse me if I mess up or I forget anything. I'm going to try to make it as short and simple as I can. So just to kind of get into it, what my mindset was when I was making the build, I wanted to do something that not a lot of other people do. But at the same time, I am a solo player. I try to 1vx as much as I can, maybe 2vx. A lot of that gets ruined by being snipe spammed. That's been a real issue the past month and a half, is having a 1vx ruined by snipe. But to move on from that, I've played Magic Dragonknight for a long time. Literally, I pre-ordered this game, and this is the first character I ever made. Let's see. Here's my playtime, just to show you I've wasted this much of my life playing this game. I have like 9 other characters too. So, anyways, to get into the character sheet and talk about the build a little bit, my biggest worry when I was putting it together is, okay, light armor, I'm going to be squishy, so I need more health. I ended up with almost 25k max health. So we're sitting at 39k max magic, nearly 25 max health. Like I said, I'm not a perma blocker. 14k max stam, that's more than enough for what we do. 1744 magic recovery and 2181 spell damage unbuffed. 2600 buffed spell damage. So, and physical resistance 19k, spell resistance 27k, crit resist nearly 2200. We're a vampire, running Witch Mother's Potent Brew and the Atronach for more sustain. My old build was a dual wield, double Nirnhoned swords. Probably waste a little bit of damage running double Nirnhoned, but that's an old build. I had 3500 spell damage with continuous assault and fully buffed last patch. This build hits just as hard with so much better sustain. 1700 magic recovery is crazy, mixed with one of the sets that I'm wearing. So to get into the sets, like I said before, I tried to run something different. But in the end, it just kind of turned to Shacklebreaker. Really, there's not much to say about Shacklebreaker. You know, if you don't run Shacklebreaker, then I don't know. Maybe you're running in a small group and you're using a restoration staff. You know, you don't need to block too much. If you're running in a Zerg, it really doesn't matter. You know, you're running with 24 people. You can just have 40k health and flame lash and, you know, have other people do all your damage. If you're Zerging, that doesn't matter. This is solo. You need the max stam, you need the max magic, you need the sustain, you need the damage, and Shacklebreaker gives you everything that is, obviously. Originally I was running Twiceborn Star with the Mage and the Atronach, but I kind of started putting 2 and 2 together, and I realized, wow, I could have all of these stats and a little bit more if I ran Shacklebreaker. So I was originally running Twiceborn Star and Alteration Mastery. I had about the same max health, similar damage, similar recovery, all of that stuff, and then I made the Shacklebreaker build with my other set, and it just took it to that next level. So that's why I'm now in Shacklebreaker. So Nirnhoned Sword, Berserker Enchant. Berserker is good for AoE, which that tends to be a lot of my fights. Running a Nirnhoned Shield, you don't have to run Nirnhoned. I'm running Reinforced on my back bar because I'm cheap, and because 41 resistance, you know, if that's what's going to kill you, then you probably had a bigger issue. Just a max magic enchant on my shield. Nirnhoned on the back bar, that's for more damage for my back bar skills and for more healing. I've also ran Decisive. Nirnhoned ended up being better. Like I said, this is just my opinion. This whole build is my opinion. So if you want to change something, if you want to run sharpened, if you want to run powered, do it. The enchant doesn't matter. I never light attack on my back bar. This is just from my old dual wield build. We're running Valken Scoria. We're using 4 sturdy, 3 impen, just because of those times when we do have to block a bit, block cast our heals, all of that stuff. You know, there's 5 people hitting us. You do need that cost reduction on your block because you do only have 14k stam. So that's why I'm running 4 sturdy with the Shadow Ward passive in my champion points as well. So Valken Scoria, reason why I chose Scoria, aside from the burst, the great damage, you know, people say it carries, it's cancerous, all of that stuff. Well, in my opinion, the more people around you there are, that's what carries. So I'm running Scoria because it's just me. I need that burst damage when there's a heal plar sitting around healing the 4 other people that I'm fighting. So it adds max health, which is fantastic, and it adds all of that great burst potential. Shacklebreaker, we're running 2 triglyphs on our chest and on our legs for more max stam and more max health. Scoria Shoulder, we're running 2 heavy, 5 light. You can run a medium if you want, but I do have the Undaunted passive, but really I was just going for more resistance there. So if you want to run a medium, run a medium. Then we're also running Desert Rose. In my opinion, Desert Rose is an amazing sustain set. I criticized it a lot before running this build, and now there's, you know, I can't talk poorly about it. Desert Rose is an amazing set for sustain. It also gives that resistance, and most of all it gives that max health, and that's why I chose it, is for the max health. Originally I was running Alteration Mastery until I realized that 6% cost reduction on top of light armor passives is kind of redundant. You see Spellweave and Sun, that's a whole different conversation, but in my opinion those are just awful PvP sets. Bad healing, bad sustain, or bad uptime. I would not be caught dead running Sun or Spellweave in PvP. It's just my opinion. Last of the sets, we're running 3 spell damage glyphs on our jewelry. Like I said, I was running Alteration Mastery, and that's just from where I was trying to get my Flawless in VMA. Moving on to the skills, try to make it quick. Burning Embers, great damage, great heal. Flame Lash, you're spammable. Fossilize. Now, people would say this got a nerf. In my opinion, it got a buff. Aside from the range reduction, which you can just use Ferocious Leap if someone's actually just running away from you. Aside from the range reduction, this got a buff, because now your dots will not break them out of the Fossilized. They have to use their own stamina to break out of it, which lets you deal damage until they break out. So for that reason, I'm still running Fossilize. Burning Talons. I tried choking last patch. Choking Talons, the 4-second uptime on the minor main was not enough to me, so I went back to Burning Talons for this update. Inner Light gives you max magic, gives you crit. If you want to, you can run Engulfing Flames, give yourself that 10% more flame damage, but in my experience with it, it's kind of hard to hit people with Engulfing Flames. It has a weird animation and it misses a lot. So I went with Inner Light. You know, I don't have to worry about casting Engulfing Flames and using more of my my magic pool. It's consistent damage, and in my opinion, because consistency is everything in a solo build. And then Ferocious Leap, 17k unbuffed, 18k buffed. You can run Shooting Star if you want. That's also a great ultimate, but I run Ferocious Leap for the straight up burst. Our heal is Coagulating Blood. You run Igneous Shield for major mending and also to get stamina back. I don't actually run igneous weapons with this, it's just for the video. I'm running structured entropy. But you can run igneous weapons. I light attack weave a lot, which if you watch any of my videos with Magic Dragonknight, you'll see that I light attack weave. That's probably just coming over from PvE, honestly. Adds a little bit of damage, so if you want to run igneous weapons, that's fine. But I'm running structured entropy for more healing on my back bar and just more max health. This is kind of your flex spot. You can run any skill here that you want, but to me, Deep Breath is irreplaceable. It's a great heal in a 1vx situation. It interrupts people and it adds great burst when timed with Ferocious Leap. Some people would say I'm stupid for not running Mist Form, but in my opinion, if I have to run away from a fight, it means that there's usually 4, 5, 6 people chasing me, maybe a whole freaking Zerg. And really that's just prolonging my death. So I don't run Mist Form just out of utility. I don't need to run away. I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to fight, and I'm either going to kill them or I'm going to get sniped to death and die. So that's just how it is. Volatile armor, I would not replace that. Since we aren't running any kind of shield aside from igneous shield, you need that straight up resistance since you're a double sword and board build. So volatile armor. And then shooting star on my back bar. You don't have to run shooting star. I ran standard. That's a great close quarters ultimate. And I've ran spell wall. That got a little bit of a nerf with this update. But I'm thinking about putting it back on with all of the snipe spammers that have been running around. And Devouring Swarm. Great heal, great ultimate, good damage. You know, you can swap these two out. They're basically, you know, this heals you, this is great burst. So really, your back bar ultimate is situational, in my opinion. To get into CP real quick, like I said before, this is all my opinion. I'm just going to run through it. Add some extra points here for Sprinter, so, you know. This new tree right here is pretty cancerous, so I went ahead and put some points in there because I knew other people would be running it. Break free cost reduction since we don't permablock. Arcanist, Shadow Ward for block cost reduction. Like I said before, in those situations where we do need to permablock, this can save your life. And then I am still running 75 in Thaumaturge for the Exploiter passive. I looked around at putting some points in other places, and really, there's nothing that was going to give me 10% more damage. So I stuck with this just off of the fact that your backlash after a Ferocious Leap kind of becomes an execute. If you time your Deep Breath and your Ferocious Leap and everything in time, then your backlash will basically execute the enemy. And I've had that happen to so many people that, in my opinion, you can't pass up that passive. So here's the rest of the CP. This scales really poorly, so I don't have a whole lot of points in here. 37, 37, and then thick skinned. Alright guys, so that's everything for the build video. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to try to put together a good 1vx video for you guys, but like I said before, you know, let me check the map here. We get Zerged down a lot by AD. It's actually improved since I started, but we get Zerged a lot. I get sniped a lot by AD. DC's okay, they snipe me sometimes, but mostly these guys, they just Zerg all day, and they kill me with snipe, and nothing else really. So like I said, I'm going to try to get together a 1vx video, and get that up as soon as I can. So, thanks guys, show your friends, you know, let me know how the build works if you try it out. Oh yeah, one more thing, I'm running tripods. You know, you can't pass up tripods It synergizes really well with Dragonknight passives, with blocking, with magic, with health, all of that stuff. So you can run immovables if you want, but I think you'll be missing out if you run immovables over tripods. So that's everything, guys. Peace.